You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from Nvidia to VIX and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means we are back to wrap up your trading day with another edition of the Hot Options Report. My name, of course, Mark Longo from the Options Insider Radio Network, your home now for 19 plus years of options goodness, listeners. And of course, if you want more options goodness, you know where to go. The Hot Options Report.com is the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. While you're there, you can always run any number of cool and unique badges and scans. Today, we're going to go out to the Golden Sweeps scan, listeners. That's looking for multi-exchange sweep orders where the total premium is over $1 million, listeners. Only 6. We're going to run through them now. We're going to kick it off with MongoDB, number 6, ticker symbol MDB, listeners. Followed by number 4, Taiwan Semi, also had a massive sweep out there today. Then we've got some action in the indexes, as you would expect on a day like today. The SPX as well as SPY both seeing massive sweep orders come in, listeners. Number 2, our old pal IBIT lighting up the tape out there today. ADV over 1 million contracts now. Absolutely wild stuff. And the big dog on our golden sweep list, Lumentum Holdings Inc., ticker symbol LITE, LITE, another fascinating one out there, listeners. Again, you could dig into this sweep, see exactly what was going up. What were they sweeping, listeners? Get on over to thehotoptionsreport.com to find out. As we find out what was number 10 on our list today. Was it a banger day out there in the world of options? The answer was no. All eyes were drawn to the macro, as sometimes draws eyes away from the single names, and that was the case today. Only cost you 424,000 contracts to break into the top 10 today. That gets us to our old pal, the artist formerly known as Facebook. Meta closing today, $653.56, up $5.38. For the number 10 spot on our countdown today, the hot option, nearly 18,000 of these 645s. And once again, most of these are going to be expiring today, listeners, because most of these names have weeklies now expiring on Monday and on Wednesday. That was the case in Meta. 645s expiring today. Average price for these, $9.38. And these are looking pretty good intra-session, listeners. The high today was nearly 660, 659.94. So obviously these 645s for nearly $10 were looking pretty good then. Not as great at the end of the day. They obviously went out worth about $8.50. So if you bought these for that average price and rode them through the close, not a great trade. If you sold them, you had to sweat a bit, but they ended up working out as we keep climbing to the number 9 spot, a newcomer in our top 10 today. This is ONDS, ticker symbol ONDS, popping 60 cents to close at $10.67, putting up 476,000 contracts for the number 9 spot in our countdown today, listeners. As all things defense, lighting it up out there. What was the hot option in ONDS? Again, they don't have the Monday and Wednesday weeklies, so it was the Friday 12 calls, changing hands 52,000 times for an average price of 52 cents. Now you might say, well, that would sound ridiculous. The stock closed at $10.67, but the intraday high was $12.42. So these were obviously looking a heck of a lot better earlier in the session than they are now after the closing bell, listeners. Of course, on the flip side, if you like that strike and think we can get back there again, then they're only trading for about 22 cents by the close. So you're getting about 30 cents off the top as we keep climbing to the number 8 spot out there today, listeners. This is AMD. AMD coming back down $1.60 to close at 198.62, putting up 532,000 contracts for the number 8 spot on our countdown today. The hot option in AMD, 25,000 of the 160 puts. Now, these are not expiring Monday. These are not expiring Wednesday. These are expiring on Friday, listeners. Average price for these, 17 cents. And this is keeping that trend up of pretty far out of the money puts dominating the tape in AMD. This might be closing, though, so someone could be deciding to take what they can get for these, in which case, about 17 cents, and get the heck out of Dodge. As we get the heck out of number 8 up to number 7, keeping it in the A tech names, it's the Amazonians. Amazon closing today, 208.39 off $1.61 today, listeners, putting up 632,000 contracts for the number 7 spot on our countdown today. The hot option in the Amazonians, 57,000 of the 210 calls expiring today. Average price for these, 18 cents, and that seems about right because we got close to that level, 209.75, but didn't quite break it. So these never quite got there, listeners. If you sold them, again, you had to sweat right in the middle of the session, but they ended up working out all right. You kept 18 cents at the very least, listeners, as we keep climbing to number 6, Mr. Softy. Were they climbing today? The answer was yes. A rare green day so far this year for Microsoft. Closing today, $398.55, up $5.81, or about 1.5%. Putting up 750,000 contracts for the number 6 spot, the hot option in Mr. Softy today. 44,000 of the par calls expiring today. Average price for these, 86 cents, listeners. So these were looking okay. We got up to 401.19, so these were definitely worth more than that at one point intra-session before coming back to earth at the end of the day. So if you bought these, you had your moment in the sun. Then you had to get the heck out of Dodge. If you sold them, again, had to sweat, but they ended up working out pretty good. Coming in pretty close to a tie with Microsoft, also right around 750,000 contracts. For the number 5 spot is the Fruit Company, a.k.a. Apple, closing $264.72, up 54 cents today. And the hot option in the Fruit Company, 60,000 of the 265s. Once again, right near where we closed, listeners. Average price for these, 68 cents. And once again, these were looking pretty good in the middle of the session. The high was 266.53, so these are obviously worth at one point at least $1.53. They obviously went out worthless at the end of the day, so selling these for that average price was the trade if you wanted to ride it through the end of the day. But you had opportunities on both sides to make some money as we keep climbing to number 4. Was Palantir making some money today? You know, defense stocks are looking good today, and Palantir very deeply in that sector, rallying nearly $8 today to close at 145.13, putting up 814,000 contracts. For the number 4 spot out there today, the hot option in Palantir, 44,000 of the 150s expiring on Friday. Average price for these, $1.91, listeners. So the high today was 147.14, so these were looking a little bit better earlier in the session. You have the rest of the week, though, so up to you whether you think those are worth a nibble. As we keep climbing to the number 3 spot, this name has been climbing ever since the deal was scuttled. It's Netflix, closing today $97.09, up 85 cents, putting up 867,000 contracts for the number 3 spot in our countdown today. The hot option in Netflix, nearly 81,000 of the par calls. Once again, back to the par strike. These are expiring on Friday. Average price for these, $1.08. And the high today was 98.07, so nearly $1 away from where we closed. If you think we can get back there and above by the end of the week, then perhaps you like these Netflix pars as we keep climbing to the number 2 spot. Was the market liking Tesla today? The answer was yes, if ever so slightly. They closed 403.32, up 81 cents, putting up 2.3 million contracts. So the number 2 spot in our countdown today, The hot option, once again, back to the par strike we go. This time it was the par puts changing hands 132,000 times. Average price for these, $1.15. Obviously, selling these was the right way to go, listeners, as we keep climbing to the number one spot in our countdown today. It's Nvidia, rallying $5.18 to close at 182.37, putting up 3.5 million contracts for the number one spot on our countdown. Yet again, the hot option in Nvidia today, 235,000. Of the 185s, average price for these, 11 cents. These are obviously expiring today, hence that low price tag. And these might have looked decent earlier in the session, but we never really got there. We never really threatened that strike. The high was about 183.5, so still $1.50 away from that strike. So if you bought these, Nvidia teased you, but you never quite got there at the end of the day, and they obviously went out worthless. That is going to do it for us on the Hot Options Report today. Remember, check out our friends over there at thehotoptionsreport.com. You can check out all of those cool badges and scans, just like the Golden Sweeps today, or Retail Giant, and the other ones we've talked about here on the show today, and a whole bunch more. thehotoptionsreport.com. See you back here tomorrow for a great pro Q&A session for all of our pro members before we're back after the closing bell. Another episode of the Hot Options Report. Stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.